This is Ian Noel Camalotas, and this is Chatterbox. Hello, I'm here with Sivan Shimon from the film Barash, which was here at the Chicago International Film Festival. It's an Israeli film. Could you tell us a little bit more about the film itself?
The film Barash is the coming-of-age story of Neama Barash, which I play, a 17-year-old girl that her whole family falls apart by her sister going AWOL from the army and falling in love with an Arab boy. So she, in search of her identity, she goes and falls in love with a young girl that arrives to her high school and engages in drugs and alcohol and just like escapes from all the mess that she has in her house.
So, with the film seemed to be a little bit more contemporary. Is this the more contemporary kind of teenage coming-of-age story films in Israel, or is this something a little bit more new with the current generation?
I don't know about the current generation because Michal, the director, has her specific way of how she views the generation. She's 38, 39, so it portrays a piece of her life when she was a teenager. But it does, like the party that we shot, the big lesbian party, was an actual party. It wasn't extras or anything. We just came inside a lesbian party and we shot there. So it's a kind of a mash of Michal's great imagination and contemporary youth life in Israel, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. Well, how are the depictions of both the parents and the kids? Is that the kind of disconnect that some families have in Israel in terms of generation then, with the father being a little bit more traditionalist versus the kids who are a little bit more out there?
I think it's everywhere like that, like the gap between the generations and the system of values that a person has that his kids doesn't. And I don't know if it depicts Israeli society in a way that it just describes a certain family in Israel. I think the same story can happen. You can tell pretty much the same story here in the United States and kind of mix it with the culture issue. But what is unique, what is Israeli about this family is the hardship of the love story between the sister and the Arab guy, because it's so taboo in Israel.
It's interesting you brought up the taboo part, because you had said in the Q&A that it's easier to be a lesbian in Israel as opposed to being in love with an Arab boy. So how strict that is, are parents a little bit more open to anything else other than the taboo part of being in love with an Arab boy?
Is it less taboo now, or are they trying to?
Yeah. Is it less taboo now, or?
No. It's not. It's because Israel is a religious country. Its laws are religiously based. Like not working on Saturday, it's a law. If you work on Saturday, you have to have specific permits. So Israelis, at its first place, its first identity is Jewish. And the relationships between Arabs and Jews are problematic in a way that how will you raise your child? Because if the mother is Jewish, then the kid is Jewish. But for Muslims, if the father is a Muslim, then the kid is a Muslim. So there is an inherent problem with that, inherent complexity, that because we are in a very bad political era in Israel, it's never not taboo. Being gay is like Israel is moving forward in its modern values in that way, that it's more talked about, more at schools and education and even in cinema and television, you have more gay characters, gay hosts, but the Arab Jews taboo relationship taboo is not nearly as half as advanced as the liberalization of gays.
Still very strong, huh? Let's talk a little bit more about you, because you didn't study acting, did you? Where did you study, and what field in film did you actually really study?
I did not study acting. I really wanted to act, but it was kind of like other people's dreams in a way, because it's a fantasy, and I wouldn't give in to this fantasy. Something about I'm such a control freak, so, and I was always attracted to writing. I was writing since I was 12 years old, so I studied screenwriting. It started from short stories and poems, and then I really went and gone and finished my degree in screenwriting and the Tel Aviv Art in the Tel Aviv University. And to me, it was like more writing is. I feel more in control when I write because I create the world, and it was scary for me to say, okay, I want to be an actress and I want to. And I'll go to auditions. I wouldn't do that. I was too afraid, and this film kind of it fell in my lap, but it didn't fall in my lap because I had to work hard to get this part. But the audition just like came to me in with a lot of luck. I was approached to come to the audition, and I had to prove myself and work very, very, very hard to get this part.
Did you feel then studying screenwriting really helped you out with the character that you played and with the acting that you had in the film?
Yeah, because I remember like working on the character with Michal, the director, that I had more tools to know how to break down this character, and to sometimes even raise questions about because I felt Naama in a way that Michal didn't feel Naama, and that's why she liked me, because I gave my own interpretation of this character. So we would have really, really long hours of discussions about certain breaking points in scenes, and like the slap that I get from the father, it wasn't supposed to be there, but we kind of like we sat and thought, and I told her, but listen, I really want to answer. I think like Naama should like break out and tell him and stand up for her sister. So we like together it was very interesting because Michal was very open, and she gave me this opportunity, the stage to raise questions. I don't know if every director is like that, so I was blessed in that way.
That's good. One other question I wanted to ask: you said in the Q&A that you had a little bit better screen test with other actresses that played Dana. How did that disconnect between the two of you play into a lot of the intimate scenes that you guys had together, whether it was the love scene or even the scenes where you're together talking to each other in a conversation about each other's feelings?
I said that she challenged me more than any other actress that I had matching with, because I had better matchings with other actresses, and the matching that me and Jade gave together was awful, but it was the best kind of awful there is, because she makes me tick. She makes me very, like, the moment Jade walks into the room, something about my posture, I get so stiff, and something about my presence makes her really, really soft. So and we love each other to death. We are very, very good friends. But something about our energies, because we are so different, it brings the movie to life, because we really, it's very genuine. It's something that I can't even put it in words. It's just a kind of energy. She makes me very embarrassed. She can say a certain word and I would blush like I'm 5 years old, and not. I'm happy that the casting director caught that. It was really like a stroke of genius to see this, how we influence each other without words. So but it is, and she's amazing, Jade. She's a great partner to work with. She's a great partner.
Yeah, watching the film, it seemed like you guys did have that chemistry, and it was one of those I felt I couldn't think of any of the other characters at least blending in together with either one of you compared to how you two were. One last question I wanted to ask: what are your plans now for the future? Are you going to continue screenwriting, or are you going to want to pursue acting, or a little bit of both while you're in the industry?
Both, definitely both. I have a feature which is now my producer is raising money for. I have a director, everything. I have the whole package. It's just like raising money, so I'm waiting for that to happen. And yeah, I'm gonna start going to auditions finally, because I really wanna act again. I really wanna. I am scared though, because I had such a good experience. It's like the first time I went to an audition and I got it, and I got the lead, and working with Michal and working with Jade, we are this trio that I'm afraid that it'll be harder the next time it happens. Like
It's very different.
yeah. I hope I get to. First of all, I hope I get to work with them again, and but I hope with any other people I work with, it'll be as fun as it was with them.
Just a couple non-film questions. How have you liked Chicago so far, and have you seen any of the films at the festival at all?
Oh, I love Chicago. I love the weather, though. I was so afraid of it being cold. Everyone warned me, "Oh, Chicago is going to be freezing," but I love the weather, and I went yesterday to see Women I Undressed. It was a documentary. Magnificent film. And I'm going to go today. There were a few films that I really wanted to check out, but I missed it. There was Carol that I really, really wanted to watch. But I have like 2 more days here, so I have enough time to check some more films.
Well, thank you so much for spending time with us. My name is Ian Kamalotis for Centertainment Media, and we'll see you next time.